All right, for analysis on developments within the DA, we are now joined by Professor Andre Duvenhage. Prof, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. So looking at what's playing out within the DA, what does George's resignation reveal, particularly about the current state of internal democracy and factionalism within the party?
Good evening, Katlego and the viewers. My take on the situation is that this was very negative for the Democratic Alliance, dealing with a conflict in public between two very senior people, the leader of the party and basically the head of finances. At least this has come to an end after the Federal Committee of the DA took a final decision cleaning up the position of John Steenhuisen and preparing for disciplinary hearings that will involve Deon George. Now, my take on Deon George is basically that he jumped before he was pushed out of the party. I have no doubt that within the framework of the party, Steenhuisen has more support also within the broader structures of the party. But I think a few of the things mentioned by Deon George is important. I think it is important that the DA made an assessment of their role within the government of national unity, and if they are promoting their ideals, their values, their norms, and their principles. And then I also think it is clear that there need to be strong financial supervision when it comes to financial matters. But I have appreciation for the fact that the DA dealt with this matter in a very short time, clean up the process, and come to a conclusion of some sort.
I mean, Prof, you speak about dealing with this conflict in public. What do you think, to what extent do you think that this could be personal rivalries and just factionalism and those interests just shaping the DA's political strategy?
I think there's a number of factors involved here. I have no doubt that personalities are part of the problem here, but it's also about political ideology. It is clear that Deon George has a completely different understanding and perspective on environmental affairs, specifically wildlife, and the whole industry, the conservation industry, the hunting industry, and all of this in comparison to, for example, the person replacing him, Willie Oukamp. And I believe this has to do with constituencies, because the farming community, and we must take into consideration John Steenhuisen is the Minister of Agriculture. These constituencies and constituencies are very important for the Democratic Alliance in the build-up to the 2026 local election. So it's also an ideological issue, it's also a strategic issue to position the party strategically in the build-up to the election, also in terms of their elective conference that is coming up during April this year.
And Prof, I want us to touch on that elective conference in just a bit, but just going back to what the words of the former DA leader said, and when he was saying we should be cautious of the exit interview of a departing member, how credible do you think those allegations of the ANC capturing and those criminal elements and interests within the DA that he made reference to?
I think there were elements of substance in what Deon George said. But you know, paradigms, ideology is directing facts, and sometimes you can put a fact out of context completely. And I think the strategy of John Steenhuisen is to put doubts in the mind of people about the merit of what was said with regard to the party. It was also very interesting that he referred to an attack on the party and not an attack on him in person. Now, I have listened and read his speech, and it was more direct on the leader rather than on the party. So I think in that sense, there may be an element of mispresentation in terms of the factual perspective. But it is true that the Democratic Party is at stake here. It is important for the party to clarify their position and to get rid of the conflicts. I honestly believe that the democratic process, the elective conference, would have sought out this situation, because my take on it was that it is highly possible that Deon George won't be re-elected to his position as the financial treasurer general or financial minister, if you want to call it that way, of the Democratic Alliance. But by resigning, I think he made it a lot easier for John Steenhuisen and the Democratic Alliance.
And speaking on that, I mean, with regards to that upcoming elective conference for the party, what do you think would be the potential consequences for such a party coming up to that conference? And how important are strong, unified leadership figures that are needed, especially at a time such as this?
Well, I think strong leadership at the moment is critical. And there are questions about the leadership of John Steenhuisen. In some ways, specifically with regard to the double role of being a minister on the one side and the leader of a political party. And we see it also with other parties where it's difficult to play both roles. So there's an element of conflict, and that conflict may undermine his position. And it was clear that Deon George was aiming at that conflict, basically arguing that John Steenhuisen was co-opted by the ANC. And in that sense, he's now aligned to the policy frameworks of the ANC, to the international support for Iran and all these places is implicated in what he said. And I believe that not to be true. So we need to be very cautious to take one single perspective, take it out of context, and then try to develop a whole argument on that. But I believe John Steenhuisen was lucky the way this whole process played out. It will be interesting to see what the impact of this will be when it comes to the electoral conference. But my current information is that there's not going to be competition for his leadership role. Maybe it's a bit early to say at this point in time, but I think if we need to identify the leader that will take the DA forward after the elective conference, it's highly likely to be John Steenhuisen again.
So, Prof, while we still have you on the line, our breaking news at this hour is that retabling of a motion of no confidence against the Joburg Mayor, Dada Morero. And this has been put forward by Al Jama-ah, saying that the mayor is failing to provide decisive leadership. And they also speak about addressing some of those urgent service delivery issues within the city. This was initially withdrawn, the last motion of no confidence against Morero, by the same parties that are retabling this. What's your take on this retabling so early in the year?
Well, we had a motion of no confidence against Dada Morero towards the end of last year. And this was unsuccessful, and he survived that. And I believe that any attempt at this point in time is highly unlikely to be successful. What is, however, interesting is the fact that we are looking at coalitions that are becoming more and more unstable. And I believe this pattern to continue towards the election of 2026. Now, we had a motion of no confidence in the provincial government of Gauteng towards the end of last year. Now the one in Joburg on the metro level. And then we had a motion of no confidence in the legislature in KZN. And if it was not for one vote, that of the National Freedom Party, it could have gone the other way. And fortunately for the provincial coalition government, the NFP member voted on their side. But currently, there's pressure on that member from the party to resign. So the provincial government in KZN is also in trouble. And I believe this is becoming part of a bigger pattern where coalition politics sometimes end up in high levels of conflict. And this is negative for service delivery, for taking proper decisions, accepting the budgets, etc. And this is negative for good governance in general.
So, Prof, are you saying that this could possibly be a tool used by smaller parties as a strategy, especially now leading to the local government elections?
I have no doubt that that smaller parties would like to claim a position, and they are going to be stronger focusing on their identity, trying to create a bigger prominence before the election. And I think this pattern is going to continue. So my expectation is that local government will become more unstable as we work towards the 2026 local elections, probably November, December this year. And what I'm also observing is the fact that we are seeing more and more of a fragmentation of the political process. In other words, more and more parties are competing in the elections. At the moment, the IEC has registered more than 500 parties. So the outcome of this process is going to be coalitions. And I think out of the 2021 elections, we had about 70 environments where no single party had an absolute majority. That total may increase in a dramatic way, and I won't be surprised if that total of 70 may be doubled in the next election towards the end of the year.
All right, Prof, thank you so much for your time and giving us analysis on both the issue with the DA, Deon George, officially quitting that party, and of course, that retabling of that motion of no confidence against the mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. That was Professor Andre Duvenhage.